I have no idea how this is going to turn out because I lost what I had been filming on. I don't know where I lost it. I may have lost it while traveling, or I may have lost it in a car, or I may have just lost it anyhow. And so now I'm filming on my computer, which you're not supposed to do, but it's what I'm doing. Call it really old school YouTube. You know, I thought since I've never really done it, I would take a moment and introduce myself. So as you can see, my channel name, Instagram name, etc. is Wanda Gambling, and that's kind of a joke. I mean, that is a joke. Wanda Gambling, for those of you who are just uneducated about the best books in the world, one of the best books in the world, is the name of a movie star in the Pushcart War, which is an amazing book. And I chose that name, give me a bit more privacy, and just because that book needs my attention. That book needs a movie, because it would be amazing, but the movie star needs to be named Wanda Gambling. So, it's kind of my video name, I guess. So, if I could ever become a movie star, I'd be perfectly happy to play Wanda Gambling and marry. Oh, pretend to marry. No, I'm not going to spoil who she marries. It's just read the book. It's amazing. Yeah, I also thought I'd talk a little bit about who I am, what I like to read, because I never got around to making a BookTube Newbie tag. I was going to do both BookTube Newbie tags. I filmed them, then I had computer troubles, and so, yeah, not happening now. So, we're just going to do a not BookTube Newbie tag, where instead I talk about the books I like to read and who I am. I'm a Christian who believes that we should be following the commandments that are found in the Old Testament, and so I think that they're for our benefit, and I like having benefits, so yeah, mosquitoes. I follow them. You don't have to if you don't want to, but why would you not want to? They're great benefits, believe me, great benefits. So I thought I'd talk about the books I like, and so I like lots of books. I only brought out one type of book I feel like has always been one of my favorite categories, and that is obscure children books from the middle of the century. I mean, I like other types of books. One of my favorite series ever is Betty Wales. That's from 1900, and it's a children's story about this college-age girl, and I adore it. One of my favorite series that I discovered just this past year, I've only read 2 of the 3 books in the trilogy, is The Chronicles of Fid. It's a super villain story. It's like, I read all over the place. But a genre I have always loved, always come back to. It's not a genre, it's a type of book. And that is obscure children's mid-century, last century, like 1930s to 1970s-ish. So, in a case in point, we have here a book I read a while back, and it is A Secret of Crossbone Hill, published in 1959. We have Stormy by Jen Kojard, which is published in 1959. We have Hannah's Brave Year by, Rhoda Woodbridge, published in 1964. We have The Mystery of the Ghost Bell, which was published, when was this thing published? 1971. We have Myrtle Albertina's Secret, which was an amazing book, for the record, which was published in 1956. These are examples of more modern books. These are also examples of books I've got fairly recently. I'm also a huge fan of Enid Blyton. If you're British, or from, my mind just blanked. Commonwealth, there we have it. British Commonwealth. You're probably way more familiar with Enid Blyton than Americans are. She's amazing. I also love, like, Barbara C. Freeman. She's, like, somebody none of you have heard about except for the weird people who have looked at her books on Amazon and go, they're $30 a piece. I'm not paying that much money. And, like, Mabel Esther Allen, Swallows and Amazons. I know it's a bit older, but it's still that sort of era. This is just that is more popular, but it's what I like is books from mid-century-ish that are just obscure. Trixie Belden, more well-known in America at least, obscure. Recently I've been reading a ton of The Chalet School, which is like a 58 book long series. I've only have 14 of them. That it definitely fits in this category. It's more obscure, and this is just what I like, and there's not much of this on BookTube. I know, I have looked, and part of the problem is, just like today, there are tons of books being written. There were tons of books being written back then. It's just, they're harder to find, and I feel like a lot of them are being thrown out. They're not being kept and given to people who are interested in them, which I find is a pity. If you have books like these, and you would like to send them to me, contact me with and send them, because I would love. Like, one of my favorite series is like the Happy Hollisters. It's not necessarily the most obscure series. It's not well known anymore, which is a pity because, I mean, you can get like 30 plus books for like a couple hundred, like, I think a couple hundred-ish dollars, and it's like, wow, so amazing. But they were written 1950s, and I think the books still really hold up. I mean, are there parts that you might be like, oh, racist, racist, racist? But the author was, even at the time, he was very clearly trying not to be racist. Maybe playing into the stereotypes, but playing into the stereotypes can be fun. It's what everybody does. Just because it's a stereotype doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, there's a stereotype of the Chinese washerman, and it's like, well, just because that was a stereotype. I was reading a book recently where the only Chinese character did laundry. It was like, it's a stereotype, but for most of America at that time, it's the truth. And so, just because it's a stereotype doesn't mean it's not what should be done, and it's not representative, and you see what they're getting at. And I really enjoyed that series. I made a whole video about that, but this is like the sort of books I like, and I don't find that on BookTube. But I mean, I like other books. I want to start earning money reading books and talking about books, but I don't know how, because who else cares about these books? Tell me, let me know, so we can talk, because I care. I don't want them to go away completely. I want them to come to me. And from there, I was trying to look up and find who owns the copyright for this one, because the author copyrighted it. And I'm like, I can find out a ton of details about her. She was decently famous within her small area because she wrote super good historical fiction, which is what this book is, Hannah's Brave Year. And so, I read like this article that a college had put together about her. It's just like, I don't know how to find her kid, because she mentioned she had a couple of kids. I don't know how to find her kids to ask them if I can republish this. Like, maybe do an audiobook and an ebook version. Like, the Happy Hollisters, that's what they did. So they've republished it. That's why you can access them. I talked about the Happy Hollisters, but I want to do that to more books. And I don't know how to contact these people, because I don't know how to find them. I don't know. I'm rambling way too long. But, so yeah, I'd like it if you'd support the channel. I'll try and talk more about old books that are, like, out of copyright. And I'll try and talk more about new books that you can buy and support indie authors. But, truth be told, these are the books I come back to. I can usually find them at a thrift store for like $1. Like with this, at most. Maybe a bit more than that. But, I don't know. Let me know what you think. How to do the YouTube thing.